Is this the start of OtisMania? I am Chopper P. Quinnell. This is Randy Andy Datson, once again not emoting at all.
I had to because my eye hurt.
Welcome to the WrestleTalk podcast SmackDown Review Edition. Please give this video a like and a subscribe. And this episode is sponsored by Beer 52.
Beer?
We're sponsored by beer. How cool is that? Please go down in the description below. Go to beer52.com/WrestleTalk to get a free case of craft beer. We'll be talking about all the details of that later on. But first, let's start talking about SmackDown. Let's talk about this gauntlet tag team match that took place on last night's episode of SmackDown. This was the main event, and this lasted about half an hour total. Yeah. Half an hour, 35 minutes.
About as long as you want.
Yeah, and it started off with, well, we'll talk about the whole kind of story to start with, because earlier on in the night, we had a women's tag team match between Fire and Desire and Carmella and Dana Brooke.
Yes.
And Dolph Ziggler came out with Fire and Desire, and spoilers for that match, caused a distraction, allowing Mandy Rose to hit her knee for the win.
Yes.
Poor Otis. And then later on, backstage, Otis and Tucker are back there. Otis spots Mandy Rose, and despite Tucker being like, no, we talked about this, don't do it, man. He goes over and says to Mandy Rose, hey, I'm sorry for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I got a text saying that you were running late, but I'm sorry. And she says, no, it's too late, mate.
Yeah.
Too late.
Too little, too late, Otis.
Too
You should have said something earlier, which I kind of get. Like, it wasn't her fault, because clearly someone's been using her phone.
Sonya Deville.
But, yeah, I mean, it's just too late.
It's too late.
You can't just wait 2 weeks. If there's a girl you like and she likes you, you can't just like go, oh, well, I'm a bit embarrassed about this whole thing. You've got to face your fears.
Take initiative.
Take initiative and just take ownership of the fact that, yeah, it might not have been your fault, but, yeah, you upset her. So you just got to tell her that you did something wrong.
Take Otis-ship.
Nah.
I flipped the tables on this one. I did the bad pun today.
No, but that wasn't a pun.
Yeah, it was.
Ownership and
Otis-ship
don't sound the same.
Otis-ship.
You wait, I've got a good one for this match.
Oh, God. All right. Anyway, yeah, so then she says, a woman doesn't like to be stood up like that, and walks off. Poor Otis. And then we get to the main event, which was this gauntlet match, and it started off with the New Day against Heavy Machinery. And the whole through line of this whole gauntlet match is Otis. Well, Heavy Machinery, but also Otis.
The crowd just loves Otis, and they just want him to be in the match as much as possible.
Totally.
Tucker's great. Tucker was like, I think...
Tucker's really good.
I actually think, out of the two, Tucker is the better wrestler, but Otis is so charismatic.
So over, isn't he?
That people just want him to be in the ring. And you saw that every single time. Tucker was in the ring, people were like, yeah. But then as soon as everyone noticed that Otis was noticed.
Noticed Otis.
I think we both noticed at the same time. Got to the apron.
We noticed
everyone went, oh, I want this one. No, this is what I want to happen. And they just kind of ran through everyone. Yeah,
it was really strange. It started off with New Day versus Heavy Machinery.
And I was just thinking, okay, well, they're going to have a nice opening match, but the New Day are going to win this because it's
New Day are going to win.
It's a year on from Kofi Mania. And
this backstage segment took place right before this first match between New Day and Heavy Machinery, and the commentators were putting over Otis. How is Otis going to focus? He's just had this thing with Mandy Rose. So I thought Otis is going to be distracted. Maybe like Mandy would come out on the stage, or like Ziggler would come out, or something like that. Cause a distraction. New Day's going to win. They go on in the gauntlet match.
That's what I was going to say.
But no! After a few minutes, they just won.
Yes.
Like
with a good
like clean. Just straight up clean. Yeah. They just won with a compactor. They pinned Big E, not Kofi this time. And they just won. I was like, oh, okay then.
I don't mind that. I don't mind you trying. I mean, like the New Day don't need build. They're going to be they're one of the two top tag teams on SmackDown for however long they want to be. So I don't mind them taking a win. Taking a loss, and it just it starts the match off with a okay, well, we're getting something different to what I was expecting, and that's good.
That's great.
That's good. So.
And then I put Heavy Machinery just eliminate New Day clean. Didn't see that coming. Ziggler's going to cost Otis, isn't he? Was my next note. I was right. Spoilers. After that, it was Lucha House Party. They came out next.
Did some flips.
Did some flippy stuff. They got a fair amount of time. They got 5-6 minutes or so.
Yes, I mean, so the report is that they are basically, they were never going to be in this match, but then WWE realised the Revival are not going to re-sign, so they had to go, crap, we need another tag team. Lucha House Party or B Team. Lucha House Party, all right then.
So Lucha House Party came out. They got a decent amount of time. They got 5-6 minutes, like I said. But then Otis pinned Lince Dorado off the Caterpillar.
I was saying to Pete, imagine being told before a match. Oh, so what's the finish? Oh, you're gonna get pinned by a Caterpillar. All right.
I like the Caterpillar.
At least I'm on TV.
I like the Caterpillar.
Yeah, but it's not a
fun move.
It's not a finisher.
People's elbow. It's not a finishing move. Love the people's elbow. It's not a finishing move. The Usos came out after Lucha House Party, and I was like, right, this is where Heavy Machinery story is going to end.
Yes.
They're going to want the Usos to come back. The Usos got less time than Lucha House Party. They got about 2 minutes. I mean, it went through. They came out, and then it was an ad break straight away. So they probably got a few minutes in there. But as soon as they came back from the ad break, it started just moving along. A couple of super kicks. But then Tucker just rolls up one of the Usos in a crucifix pin.
It was like the end of WrestleMania 35.
Yeah. And then...
But less botched.
And the shoulders were actually on the mat. And then they just pinned the Usos as well.
Yeah.
I was like, oh! Okay! I don't know what's happening anymore.
Thankfully, they're not going to repeat this spot because that was so surprising.
Right?
That they would never repeat it.
They would never repeat
what
that
happened in the next one?
Spot. Miz and Morrison came out.
Yeah.
And after a few minutes,
yeah,
Tucker rolled up Miz.
What?
Morrison.
Oh, but I just said that wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Oh. They would never repeat the spot. This time, it wasn't a crucifix pin. It was a schoolboy.
Oh.
So it's very different.
Do like schoolboys.
But it was very much the same kind of thing. Miz and Morrison came out as tag team champions, don't forget. They came out, beat down on Tucker and Otis for a little bit, and then he just rolled him up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then afterwards, because they're heels, beat down Heavy Machinery afterwards. They put Otis through the barricade, and I was like, of course they did.
They're going, yeah. I mean, I didn't realise, I thought this was a gauntlet match. I didn't realise that this was a tauntlet match.
That was bad.
That was quite good. And so they put Otis through a barricade. It looks like, okay, well, that's Otis done for the night. Everyone was sort of thinking, oh, well, he's written off.
So just Tucker left.
Yeah, so out come Ziggler and Rude.
Ziggler and Rude as the last entrance in the gauntlet match, which is
just
great
what
story.
Everyone wanted.
Yeah. In a kayfabe world, how would you choose that? What a coincidence, etc. But Rude and Ziggler last is great. Mandy's watching backstage just before Ziggler goes out.
Tiny little TV compared to
It's just above the little entrance bit. It's fine. She's just watching it, just kind of going, oh no, Otis in the barricade, that's bad. And Ziggler kind of comes in, turns her away from the TV, goes, don't worry about that guy.
You don't want watching him.
And while they're doing that, by the way, glitches on the TV.
Ooh, Mustafa Ali.
Yep, lots more glitches on this episode. But then after that, they come out, they beat the hell out of Tucker while Otis is still out. But then very, very slowly, Otis starts getting back to his feet.
Yeah.
And as soon as there's a first sign of life from Otis, the crowd just start going wild. They're like, Otis, we must have him. So yeah, he starts getting to his feet, starts making his way round to the apron. He gets on and Tucker very slowly starts working his way back, gets the hot tag. Otis is going wild. The crowd are loving it. They just want to see Otis win. And he manages to take down both Rude and Ziggler. And he's like, yeah, I'm being amazing. But then Ziggler gets on a tag on Rude, a blind tag that Otis doesn't see. And Otis lines up for the caterpillar on Robert Roode, does the little caterpillar-y goodness, gets to his feet, eats a super kick from Dolph Ziggler, and Ziggler pins Otis to win the match. So Roode and Ziggler are going in last in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
And then Michael Cole goes, okay, bye.
Yeah, it was like, Roode and Ziggler going in last in the Elimination Chamber, please watch on Sunday, okay, bye.
Yes.
It was very quick.
It slightly overran.
I think so, yeah.
Because Michael Cole, it was as if he was falling down a hole very slowly. And he was just, whoa!
Goodbye, please watch on Sunday.
But it really, I mean, the report is that it's going to be Otis against Ziggler at WrestleMania, which...
Hopefully.
I mean, they haven't made a match for Elimination Chamber, and that was kind of the last time they could make it before WrestleMania. So I think this is going to be a big kind of blow off. Mandy's probably going to be at stake somehow. It'll be like, if Otis wins, she'll go, "Oh, Otis, I'm so sorry." Or the whole story will come out that it was Sonya. Shield
Mandy's
side.
going to help Otis win.
Yeah, and you can
Mania. And then they'll kiss in the middle of the ring. It's going to be great.
And then Otis will propose to Mandy. In the ring.
Yeah, they'll just escalate it.
And then it will be total Mandy on some kind of American TV show where they have to replay this thing, like a total Bella's sequence.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought this was a great gauntlet match. Very surprising results.
Yeah.
I did not think Heavy Machinery would get that far when I first saw the New Day Heavy Machinery first match. I don't know how to feel about Usos and Miz and Morrison just getting rolled up.
Yeah.
I think if I'm going to be nitpicky, because I did very much enjoy this is very much a nitpick. I would have preferred it if it was a little bit more creative with the pins. So it was like, if you're going to do a shock roll-up for one of them, don't do it for the other. And maybe have some sort of shenanigans or miscommunication or something like that just provides an opportunity that they capitalize on rather than just like, they rolled them up.
Because it was kind of like, oh, so they're on top. Okay, so they lost.
Won. Yeah. Which is like, it's a shock, like, whoa, they pinned him. But it only works so many times. Because, I mean, it worked on New Day for the first one. So you're like, oh my God, they just pinned the New Day. That's awesome. And you could do maybe a shock roll-up against Miz and Morrison. I think that's a really good justification for them beating them up afterwards. Would have preferred something a little bit more creative for the Usos maybe, but like I said, it's a nitpick. Really enjoyed this gauntlet match. Great story. Otis is super over. Is this a start of OtisMania? I think so. I think not. This isn't Kofi Mania levels. He's not going to get this, huge.
He's not beating Goldberg at
WrestleMania. No, he's not. But I think this could be one of the most over matches on WrestleMania, just because there's going to be so many people that just want to see Otis win and beat up Ziggler.
Do his slappy tummy and things like that.
And start shucking and jiving and everything else.
Going to happen. So.
Yeah, totally. So I think this was an effective gauntlet match. It built a guy that we all want to see at Mania now. So, yeah, I thought it was great. So before we get into reviewing the rest of the show,
are you thirsty?
Very. I'm glad you asked, because we're sponsored by Beer 52, and I'm going to go ahead and have one right now.
Which one are you going to get, Pete?
Let's have a look, see.
I reckon the Tiny Rebel. That one's got mango in it. You're a big fruit. You're a bit fruity. That's
I am
the one.
Fruity. Yeah. Mango. Let's have this one. Okay, so tell me what it's like, Datson.
Well, so with every crate you get this wonderful kind of tasting guide. It tells you all about beer. It's got loads of really interesting things. It talks to you all about sort of local breweries and things. And this one is from Tiny Rebel, which is founded in Brad's garage in 2012. Brad and Gaz set out to produce their most exciting and experimental craft beer in the UK. After winning multiple awards, it quickly realised there was a love for its beer and brand worldwide. Tiny Rebel has just one rule: never just make vanilla ice cream. And the tasting notes, which you will be tasting right now, a result of Brad's family vacation, as he now calls it, to the US. A very punchy hop profile blending with the mango to create a bitter floral base, accentuated by sweet mango flavours, with a colour that will make you think you're drinking a popular breakfast fruit juice.
You know what? It's actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like genuinely, that is a very nice beer.
Pete doesn't always drink beer, but he clearly, that's a good one.
It is a very good one. It is very fruity. I like it.
With every crate, you also get some snacks, which I will be sampling. This one you get roasted chickpeas, sweet chili flavour, high in protein. That's good for me.
You need protein. That's good.
I'm trying to gain weight at the moment.
So while you're having that snack, if you go down in the description, beer52.com/WrestleTalk, you can get a free case of craft beer. One of these things. And all you have to do is pay for postage, which is £4.95 if you're in the UK. And if right now as well, WrestleTalk viewers gonna get 2 extra beers. So that's 10 beers. 10 beers for £4.95. All you have to do is pay for postage. It signs you up for a monthly subscription. You get one of these boxes sent out to you every month, which can be cancelled at any time. And like Beer 52 are the world's most popular craft beer discovery club thing, whatever you want to call them. But I like Luke in the office, he's subscribed to Beer 52 for years. They're a really great service. I've subscribed to them before as well in the past. They are really great, genuinely.
If it's not for you, it's a great present. Ollie got it for his dad for Father's Day. Yeah. And it's a really great thing to have. And
it is.
I was going to get it for my brother, and then my brother became celiac, so he couldn't drink it.
Unfortunate. So make sure that doesn't happen if you are buying it as a present. But yes,
no, it's a wonderful present. And
/WrestleTalk.
These are really nice.
And you get a snack and a magazine with every box as well. So do it. Get your free beers. beer52.com/WrestleTalk. This is very good.
Down it.
I will not. We have a show to do. Speaking of the show, let's get into talking about the rest of it. So this SmackDown opened up with a recap of the Cena and Fiend match announcement last week.
Yes.
Which is still really stupid. Even in video package form, it's really dumb.
Yeah.
But then the actual show opens up with a moment of bliss with Bliss and Cross. I'm actually going to put these down. They're distracting me.
Oh.
These other beers that are in there. She introduces the NWO after listing off the other people that are going in, including new inductee JBL.
And Nikki says, and the Billa Twans! And all the Americans thinking, what the hell is a twan? But the Bella Twans are in it. And out come the NWO looking so uninterested in what's going on.
Also, it's the NWO without Hogan.
Yes, that was confusing. They mention Hogan. They say he's not there. And then Corey goes, he was the kind of guy who started it all.
He's like the most important one. It was like, well, why is he not here then?
Well done for burying the other three.
Yeah.
You got to say, Kevin Nash looks amazing.
Doesn't he?
He's a handsome
he's a
older
chap.
Gentleman.
Yeah.
And
I genuinely think he's got
brilliant.
more attractive the older he's got.
Oh yeah.
It's weird.
Since he's got rid of that horrible ponytail and stuff. X-Pac looks great.
Yep.
Scott Hall, amazing recovery from what he was like a few years ago. So it's really cool to see them. And they've still got like charisma and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally.
And Scott Hall, you could tell he was having a brilliant time. He was just saying stuff.
He was just on the mic because he could be. This was pretty awkward though, this whole segment.
Yeah, you could.
Because Alexa was just like, Sean, do we call you Sean? Do we call you 123 Kid? Do we call you X-Pac? And he was like, why don't you just call me a Hall of Famer?
But there wasn't a Hall of Famer, it was Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
And you could kind of tell Scott Hall had no idea who either of those two people were.
Yeah.
But Nikki kind of goes, I'm a massive fan of yours. Can I have a selfie? And just sort of walks over and takes a selfie. And it's a bit kind of, what?
Yeah,
this is the NWO. I would prefer it on a slightly more serious chat show. Because like the moment of bliss is a bit of fun. I would have preferred it on like a talk is like what was Jericho's thing that he used to have? Highlight reel. Or like the Mrs. What?
Miz TV.
I'm not very good at my job.
No, apparently not.
Or
Miz TV.
Something like that, because they're
cutting edge.
Yeah, they're a bit
Truth TV.
They're a bit more serious, whereas this is kind of like they're just sort of
King's Court.
sitting there fangirling.
Piper's Pit.
You're just saying things now.
They're all legitimate talk shows.
The Jerry Springer show. And you kind of were waiting for something to happen, and they clearly ran out of things to say.
They all just ran out of things to say, because I think they probably, because they're the NWO, the click and all that stuff.
They weren't really scripted.
Yeah, they probably got a bit of leeway to just be like, go out there and say what you want kind of thing. But then they all just kind of went like, anyone else gonna say anything for a little bit? It's a really awkward pause for like 10 seconds, and someone clearly in the back was like, music!
Yeah.
And just jammed the button for Sami Zayn to come out. So Zayn and Cesaro and Nakamura all came out. Zayn says they need to stop living in the past and start talking about the future. Goldberg. You aware what happened at Super Showdown? Come on now. He's the heel for saying that, by the way. So yeah, NWO tease fighting Zayn and Cesaro and Nakamura, and they're like, we could drop you in a second. That's Zayn saying that. But then they're like, we won't fight you, heels. Strowman comes out, and he beats up Cesaro and Nakamura individually because they don't run at him at the same time because they're apparently video game baddies. And then Zayn gets caught between a rock and a hard place, or in this case, a Braun and an NWO place.
Yeah.
But then he uses Alexa Bliss as a human shield to escape out of the ring and manages to get up the ramp where Braun throws a chair and a table at him.
What was she in this scenario? With the rock or the hard place?
Neither.
Oh. She's just
She's also there.
Okay, cool.
There's a rock in a hard place,
yeah, I
and
mean,
an Alexa.
it was quite a funny move, like the whole sort of human shield thing,
yeah.
like that. Because they're obviously not going to go, well, so I'm just going to clear out Alexa as well.
Something I would have liked, I think it would have got a big pop, is if he tried to use Alexa as a human shield and she just punched him. I think that would have been funny.
I would have liked it if Sammy had just picked her up and thrown her at Braun, who had caught her and gone. And then you have a throwback to
Team Little Big.
Exactly. They could kind of go,
right.
I got you still, put her down. I would have loved
that would have been
if
funny.
He picked her up and gone, yeet.
That would have been very funny.
Yeah.
However, I still think he should have tried to like get behind her as a human shield, and she just like breaks out and just clocks him one, and he rolls out the ring.
Yeah.
So like he still gets hit, but it's not like, oh, he got beaten up or anything like that. He just took a hit because he was a moron. I would have liked that, but it was still cool. After that, I'm not really excited for that match though. This didn't make me more excited for the 3-on-1 handicap match on Sunday. Then we got a rematch from last week, Naomi and Lacey Evans versus Banks and Bayley.
This
for reasons.
Looked like a bad fancy dress party. It looked like dancer girl, I'm American, emo, and rapper.
Yeah, a little bit, actually. Yeah.
And like to be honest, the match itself was actually quite good. I quite enjoyed the match because all four of them are really good workers.
Totally.
But I don't want to see them in tagging against each other. I want to see them as single stars. I kind of I know that you have to do tag matches now and then to build a feud, but we had this last week, and we're probably going to get it again next week.
Probably.
But the interesting thing for me came slightly later in the show. I would have mentioned it because it's such a small segment. We'll mention it now. Bayley and Sasha were backstage because they won the match earlier in the day. And they're backstage kind of chatting like, oh, we've beaten everyone. And they're like laughing. But a whole time, I don't know if you saw this, but Sasha was like looking at the belt. She got laughing and staring at the belt. I think this is quite obvious where this is going. I think it's going to be, they'll feud for a few weeks, like the foursome. And then Sasha will turn on Bayley because that's been the kind of rumoured match. And I can't see a better match for SmackDown.
I don't know if they are going to feud anymore. I think this is the end of the Naomi Lacey Evans thing because very much the content of that promo afterwards was, by the way, in the match we should mention, Sasha's the one that got the pin on Naomi. Thanks to Bayley's help, she interfered with Naomi's split-legged moonsault, but it was Sasha got the pin. So Naomi pinned Bayley last week, but then Sasha pinned Naomi this week.
Yes.
So it's really putting over Sasha mainly. But then, that promo is very much Bayley being like, we've beaten everyone. We're better than the Bella Twins. We're better than Carmella and Dana Brooke and Lacey Evans and Naomi. We're amazing. No one else can beat us, etc. So it really does look like, I think after Elimination Chamber, SmackDown after is going to be the time where Banks turns on Bayley. Bayley's probably going to be cutting a promo with Banks in the ring being like, I don't have any challenges for WrestleMania. I'm the best. And then Sasha will attack her. I don't know whether it's going to be a Bayley face turn or a Banks face turn. I don't really want Bayley to turn face so soon after turning heel.
It's going to be a Banks face turn.
I also don't want Banks to turn face again.
Me neither.
Because she's much better as a heel. So I don't think either of them is going to be a good turn. Banks could be a sort
of tweener where she's kind of a bit
I guess so.
badass talking about Bayley. Like, you were my best friend.
And now you're nothing without me kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can work. I don't know. It really feels like it's building towards that Banks-Bayley feud for Mania, probably. The match itself was quite fun. As you mentioned, it was really good. I like the finish as well. Naomi went for the split-legged moonsault. Bayley interfered with it. And then Sasha pulled her down and then did the double knees in the corner, stomping down on her, which I thought was really cool. It's not very often she wins with that, but it's a cool-looking move, so I'm glad
Meteora!
Sort of, but it wasn't Meteora to the shoulders. It was just in the chest, which is nice. Big E and Kofi are backstage doing a promo, and Big E, what did he take?
They've just given him the direction of just do whatever you want.
Literally do anything.
So he just comes out going, and then like Kofi's talking, and then Big E's just going in the background, sort of like he's got this hyper child next to him.
He just screams in Charlie Caruso's face. She is just corpsing.
She's just going
so hard. Literally, she's just cracking up the whole time they're doing this.
And basically, they just kind of go, well, we did gauntlet matches last year. We're great at this.
We're going to win.
We're going to win.
Etc. They didn't win. Spoilers. Then we get the Bayley and Banks promo that we just mentioned. Then we get Sheamus versus Apollo Cruz. And right before this match starts, Apollo's backstage. Shorty G comes up to him and just says, hey, man, I know you want to deal with Sheamus in your own way and all that stuff, but if you need help, I am here. If you ever feel like you need a hand, just say the word. I'll give you a hand. And he puts his hand out for a handshake, and Apollo's just like, no, and then just walks off.
Nah.
He doesn't do that. He
should have done.
Doesn't take the handshake and just walks out. Cruz gets in some good offense here for about a minute to a minute and a half, and then Sheamus just bro kicks him for the win.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume this is turning into an Apollo heel turn on Shorty G, probably.
That's the one we want, isn't it?
Yeah.
I literally was making my notes. I looked up and it was bro kick.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what else happened in this match.
Yeah. There was, standing moonsault. He did a couple of takedowny things. But yeah, it was very much a kind of bro kick win, LOL. So I think it's probably going to be Apollo probably turning heel on Shorty G. I'm honestly looking forward to an Apollo heel turn because he's a very good in-ring wrestler. He just has a very bad character of you must come out and smile. So if he doesn't have to come out and smile, hopefully he can just get over his in-ring
He might be very
work.
charismatic, but we wouldn't know that.
But we wouldn't know, exactly.
I mean, if it's just Apollo being kicked to the moon.
Yeah, exactly. Apollo, get to the moon, I get it. But after that, Drew Gulak is backstage. And Drake Maverick comes up to him and just says, hey man, you've been telling all these people how to beat Daniel Bryan. I want to beat Daniel Bryan. I want to fight Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
He starts pointing out a few things. He's like, well, I don't know if you've got the stuff for it. You got to think about things like his roundhouse kick, what was it, slide 115.5 or something like that. His roundhouse kick does this, that, and the other. And Daniel Bryan comes in, he's be like, hey man, if you're so sure about all my weaknesses, why don't we fight on Sunday at Elimination Chamber? I want to see that match. I think it's going to be really good. Yeah. Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan are bloody awesome technicians. Really excited for that match.
Yeah, I just hope it gets a bit of time.
Yeah, me too.
Because this is pre-show all over it, and those matches rarely get more than 8 minutes.
It's annoying because it's Daniel Bryan, so you'd hope not pre-show.
Yeah.
However, totally could be. But either way, Gulak-Bryan Elimination Chamber has been confirmed, which is great. Very much looking forward to that match. Then we get that women's tag team match that we mentioned earlier, Carmella and Dana Brooke versus Fire and Desire. Like I said, they came out with Ziggler. Match itself was fine. He was worked down the babyface for a little bit. Dana Brooke got the hot tag, did a bit of offense, but that's when Ziggler caused a distraction. Mandy Rose hit the knee onto, with a really good-looking knee onto Dana Brooke.
She has got a great knee.
She does.
She is.
It's fantastic.
Better than Kenny Omega.
About that one.
You heard it here first, folks.
That's a bold claim. However, she hits a really good running knee and picks up the win over Dana Brooke, which is great. It looked like when Ziggler came out to accompany them on the ramp, it looked like Mandy didn't know it was happening. She was like, "Oh, Ziggler, awesome, that's great."
She doesn't
and then
look
out to the
comfortable
ring.
with it. She's kind of like, it's like, I don't know. Let's say you're at a party and your friend's gone, right? I know you're single, and I've got this really hot friend who I'm going to introduce you to. And you meet them like, oh yeah, they are attractive, but then they turn out to be not that great a guy. But because you've kind of been set up with them for the night, you have to kind of talk to them for the night and just wait until the night's over. And then they'll go, oh yeah, I'll totally text you. And they just don't text them. She looks like she's in that situation of, I've just been kind of put next to this guy and I'm expected to talk to him. Like at a family dinner, you're like, oh, you really like my cousin. And then you put them next to me like...
Yeah. Ooh, we don't have much in common. Yeah, I can see that. To me, it just seems like she is genuinely just like, he's a friend, like a sort of friend, acquaintance friend, and she's like, oh, Ziggler's here. All right, cool. Like she's not gonna tell him to go away, but she's not overly thrilled with him being there or anything, which is quite nice. Then after that, my favorite part of the show, the Firefly Funhouse.
Why did you like it so much, Pete?
God, it was awesome. Okay, so we got the same video recap of earlier. You've seen a Fiend, which is whatever. Then it comes in with a Firefly Funhouse. All the pictures in the Funhouse have been replaced with pictures of John Cena.
Good feng shui.
It's very good. Wyatt turns around and says, now you might be wondering, why Cena? And Ramblin' Rabbit comes in and says, ooh, I know. It's because he beat you 6 years ago at WrestleMania, leading to a downward spiral in both your professional and personal life. And as soon as he said that, I was like, whoa. And then Wyatt just kind of looks down at him and he just looks at the camera just being like, yowie wowie. Which already, I'm so invested in this promo.
It feels real.
It feels so real. And then they show the clip from WrestleMania 30 where John Cena beat Bray Wyatt, which was legitimately the real downfall of Bray Wyatt, because that's when he started losing all his feuds. That's when he started talking the talk and never backing it up and just losing everything. And he entered the actual downward spiral that they just mentioned.
That was 6 years ago.
That was 6 years ago. And yeah, they show that clip, and then it comes back to Wyatt. He's putting on his gloves, and he says, time can either hurt or heal you. And if it wasn't for Cena, the Firefly Funhouse wouldn't exist. So I forgive you. And I was like, that's great. Great stuff. However, and then he kind of looks down a little bit and goes, however, there's a catch. John Cena also helped create The Fiend. He's fueled by vengeance, driven by pain. He's waiting at WrestleMania, and unlike me, he's not so forgiving. Life is a circle. This is very similar to the tweet he put out after he lost the title to Goldberg. Life is a circle. No matter what beast you make of yourself or how bright one side is, the dark side inevitably comes round again. That's the beauty of a circle. Round and round we go. Let me in.
I think he delivered it better.
Of course he did. He's Bray Wyatt. I thought this was fan-bloody-tastic. I'm so invested in this match now because the announcement last week was lame. It was really bad, pointing at the sign. This has just made me go like, yep, so sold on this match now because the theory behind it is so simple. It's like the whole point of The Fiend is him going after the characters that have harmed him in previous years. Bray Wyatt as a character, people that have harmed him in previous years. John Cena is the epitome of a character that's damaged Bray Wyatt because he's the one that beat him, which started the descent of Bray Wyatt. That already is a fantastic story, and they set this up perfectly in this Firefly Funhouse. So even if you weren't around watching during WrestleMania 30 or at that time of wrestling, you know exactly what's happening. You know exactly what The Fiend wants. You know why he's doing it. You know why Cena wants this match. You know why Bray Wyatt wants this match. The whole concept of the Funhouse now feels like his whole purpose is to beat up John Cena. Changing all the pictures in the Funhouse is such a brilliant, subtle touch because now it makes you feel like his whole purpose is just to beat John Cena. It doesn't matter about all this other stuff, all the Seth Rollins, all the Daniel Bryan, Goldberg, doesn't matter. It's all about John Cena now. And I thought it's a brilliant way to draw a line under everything that's happened with the title and the Universal title and Goldberg and Super Showdown. It's a great way to draw a line under it and just be like, hey, we've just got John Cena. That's all that matters. I'm so bloody excited for this match now. This was a wonderful promo.
Did you like it?
Yes.
Yeah. Here's a thought.
Yeah.
John Cena last week walking up the ramp, play this promo. Then that's the match. You can just go, hey John, blah 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 blah, all of this stuff, rather than.
How great would that have been?
Yeah.
That would have been fantastic.
Because then you've got Cena going.
Ooh.
Sorry. Yeah, no. And then you could have maybe book Cena for 2 dates. You come out and go, look, I understand. Look, I ruined, or I did this, I buried him, I did all that. Like, that was in the past. I never meant to create this monster. That sort of thing. Because then it's kind of like, oh, you're building more of a story, then I'm even more invested. I'm just already invested in this match.
Yeah.
But what was last? Last
week was really bad. Yeah, if they'd have done that last week, Cena does his promo, walks up the ramp, and suddenly on the Titantron, boom, you've got this promo from Bray Wyatt talking about how he wants this match with John Cena at WrestleMania. And if you tell the story where for a couple of weeks Cena's like, no, I don't want this match. One, and it could be taken as both ways. It could be because he's scared of The Fiend.
Scared of the past.
Or it could be that he's legitimately like, no, I don't want to wrestle this match. I want to give the time to other people. I don't want this spot on the card. But The Fiend is the one that persists and is like, no, we're having this match. Maybe he gets physical, beats up John Cena or something like that. Something to send him over the edge for Cena to then be like, right, I'm in. I'm having this match and I'm going to beat you again. Then we'll see what happens. I'm still so invested, though. Shut up. WrestleMania.
And then Cena went, "You've got a point."
Shut up. That was terrible. Despite last week, I'm well back on the bandwagon now.
Yeah.
Really excited for this match. I think it could be absolutely fan-bloody-tastic. I'm in. I'm so in. So in on it. But then after that, we got a recap of Goldberg and Reigns, and I got sad again. Because that promo last week was
so
bad.
Much edited cheering, you wouldn't believe it. They went silent for Goldberg coming out because of the booing, and as soon as Reigns came out, it was like, I don't know, it was like Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30 had something happened. It was like, okay.
What a moment, etc. Corbin is backstage being interviewed, and he says that he and Reigns are finished. What? Say it again, Corbin. Please feed me that music to my ears. Did you just say that you and Roman Reigns have stopped feuding? Finally! Jesus! God, I was so happy when he said those words.
Here's my prediction.
What's that?
Jeff Hardy's coming back soon.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to feud with Baron Corbin for several weeks.
I think you might be right. Yeah.
That is the in WWE's eyes, that is the perfect opponent for a returning babyface.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I was thinking that it might have been Sheamus, Jeff Hardy, but apparently it might be Sheamus Daniel Bryan for WrestleMania. But either way, Corbin does his interview and he's like, "Hey, I'm not talking about Roman Reigns. He's in the past. We're done now. Thank God." And then he says, "I'm here to talk about my plans for WrestleMania." And then Elias's guitar interrupts him. And he says, "Oh, what do you think you're doing? You're bad. You should bow down to the king." Remember when they used to be friends? They were in the mid-card vortex
literally
together.
like 6 months ago.
Yeah. Oh, well. But then he says, "You should bow down to the king," and then he walks off. Yeah. Okay. And then we get all the stuff we mentioned before about Otis and being backstage, and then the gauntlet match to end off the show. So overall, I thought this was a
much better show.
A much better show, yes. This was a fine to good show, which was drastically better than what we've got in recent times. Really into Cena Fiend, really into Otis, and that whole gauntlet match was a great way to build him. I
think this was the
excited.
best SmackDown since I started doing this, and that was before Christmas.
Yes, that's correct.
That's saying something.
It's the best SmackDown in quite some time, which is great. And I gave it a high 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I'd have given it the same, I think.
Yeah,
3 out of 5.
Best SmackDown of 2020, 3 out of 5. Jesus. Anyway, now we have to say thank you to some very fine people, and that is our lovely pledge hammers on Patreon at the $25 and above tier. If you haven't been to WrestleTalk's Patreon yet, you should. Patreon.com/WrestleTalk. Get a load of extra bonus content, including extra podcasts, etc. We've just uploaded the one that they did for February, which is a show that I've now forgotten. Elimination Chamber 2014?
Yes, it definitely was.
Luke and Ollie reviewed that for WrestleTalk Extra, which you can listen to. And the poll is now up for WrestleTalk Extra for March. The winner right now that they're going to be reviewing for March, it looks like is going to be WrestleMania 26, which includes The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, when Shawn Michaels retired. And also Bret Hart versus Mr. McMahon. Woo! Anyway, there's loads of other perks over on our Patreon page, and if you pledge at the $25 and above tier, you get a custom wrestling name which gets read out on a show just like this. So, thank you to Jack Daniels on the Carl Rocks.
Yeah.
And you get a cheap pop.
Heroic Hector Mercado.
Woo, yes. Is it not Mercado? Mercado? Mercado. Bad Connection, Thomas Lagdon.
Oh, I get it.
It's good.
The Redneck, Dennis Hicks.
Woo! Yes, the redneck. Never wrong, Tyler Wright.
Because he's right.
Never wrong.
The incredible Tarzo.
Woo! Tarzo. Spoke in class today, Jeremy Smith.
That's a reference to things.
Yes, it is, probably.
Yo, Adrian. Rocky.
Woo, yes. The Jester, Ryan Kester.
That rhymes.
Lovely stuff.
Ross. Pooper Scooper Cooper!
It's one of my favourite names, it's great. The man who wears the gold, the man recognised by SWAF Nation International as the 24/7 champion, our legend!
Yes. And finally, he's one of a kind, Ket.
Nice, yes. Very good. Well, thank you very much to all our pledge hammers, and thank you for watching. Please press the videos that have just appeared on the desk to catch up with the latest awesome WrestleTalk things, and one of these buttons right here that'll make you a pledge hammer on Patreon, and go down in the description to get your free case of craft beer, beer52.com/WrestleTalk. I've been Pete Quinnell, this has been Randy Andy Datson, and that was SmackDown